Welcome, everyone.
All sections report.
To Housecoat Podcasting. I am your host, the obvious Housecoat Gamer. Joining me is 117 Jorn.
117 Jorn.
And Takashi Yamato.
Yeah. The docking bays.
Be ready for anything.
And today, we are discussing the ships of the motion picture. Starting with the Constitution class. Sorry, have to get stupid things are going on.
Starting over again, or?
Oh no, I'm
Construction
just getting Windows set up. Just look at this thing. Originally it was going to be the Phase 2 Connie. But, well, there were production issues. Eventually it turned into the motion picture, which necessitated a new constitution.
And man, does this thing look cool.
It is the ship designed to be stylish. It is functional too, but god damn is it sexy.
Indeed she is.
Of course there are other vessels of the TMP era.
Ship at full readiness.
Such as the Oberth.
The poor battle canoe.
Yeah. It was basically a research ship, and it was not made for combat, as it showed repeatedly. In Star Trek 3, it was studying the Genesis planet, and then a Klingon bird of prey destroyed it with a lucky hit.
I'm kind of disappointed though. Just STD could have had a proto-Oberth. They kind of do in the form of the Eagle class, but they could have done so much better. And the boys at Continuum went, let's take that to its logical conclusion.
Technology.
We have Mining Oberth,
Be ready for anything.
Medical Oberth, which in-game is a ship healer, and
Ship at full
Tactical
readiness.
Oberth.
And that is probably the laziest, because that is just a Miranda roll bar.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
And it's Starfleet, when things work.
Yeah. Speaking of
All
Mirandas,
sections report.
Yep.
Bring up local star charts.
Khan!
Not yet, not the right version.
This is the right version. See? Roll bar.
Oh. Alright, my eyes were off the screen.
Khan!
Yep.
This is the second TMP ship to enter service. Fun fact, the Reliant was going to be a Constitution. That's right. It wasn't going to be
All hands to battle stations.
light cruiser against heavy cruiser with a sneak attack. It was Connie on Connie action.
Gamble would probably be really confusing for the viewers. If they
Oh,
did
believe me, that was not the reason they vetoed it.
that. Why?
Money. You see, ironically enough, it's cheaper to just make
tell
a
me where to
new
go.
model and paint it than just repaint one model. That's why the Constitution,
All sections report.
in the form of the Enterprise, only received 2 touch-ups once. Well, 3 times. The first time was when it was painted and became the TMP Connie. The second time was when it took on those ugly scars.
Yeah. And the third time was...
The Enterprise A.
Yeah.
So they figured it was just cheaper to make a new model, which became the Miranda.
Begin a sensor scan.
Yeah. Now, as with the Oberth, there are a few different versions of this. This is the one that we most know about. And in Star Trek Online, we get a TOS-based variant of this. We saw this yesterday. Last time.
It makes a lot of sense, too, because
Yeah.
it was made right around the same time. Presumably, the Miranda had been in development for a while.
Yeah.
But by the time the first ships were built, it was time for TMP. So only a few of those were ever built.
Yep, and everything else was built to the new design.
Bring up
Next
local
we
star
have...
charts.
The second variant ever seen, the Plague Ship, which fittingly is the USS Lantry.
Yeah.
What's that? I can hear you sound of these things exploding.
Yes.
Yes, they explode a lot. But
Yep.
the first time, Kirk was being cunning.
Just tell me where to go.
Yeah, the first
Kirk
time...
disabled the Reliance impulse systems and power grid, and the Augments didn't know how to fix all of it.
Yep. And then... Khan decided to be a poor loser and trigger Genesis.
No, the second time was him being two-dimensional thinking,
Ah, yes.
which resulted in, well, Dini Dana 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 to one of the nacelles, followed by a photon torpedo to the roll bar.
Yep.
Well, torpedo to the roll bar first, then phasers to the nacelle, and one final up yours with Chekhov firing that last torpedo into the nacelle. Then Khan decided to be a sore loser.
Yep. And then, well, in the 24th century, they
Bring up
probably
local
should have been
star
phased
charts.
out.
They
But-
were doing that according to Apocrypha. You'll
But
be
then
seeing
Wolf-
that next time.
Yeah, but then Wolf 359 hit, and
The Saratoga subtype. Now, there has been some debate here. Some consider these phaser cannons, some consider them sensor pods. I can't lean either way, because I just don't have enough information.
yeah.
And then we have
Tell
the
me where
ship
to
that
go.
blew up the Enterprise D a few times.
Temporal causality loop.
Yes, somebody hates temporal mechanics.
Yeah, it's just the tense issues. Anyway,
Those are all the ships from Alpha Canon. Well, to a point. I suppose I should mention
Be ready for
the
anything.
Constellation. Let's just look at this thing. The Stelly is very much a TMP era ship. We only see them in the Lost Era because, well, but this ship was clearly designed to supplement or replace the Constitution in frontline service. And it's the most conventional option. Just look at the nacelles. They're near-perfect clones of the Connie.
yeah, just adding 2 extra ones, and it looks like it's got really big shuttle bays.
It has multiple shuttle bays.
Yep,
Through deck in some cases.
yep.
Somebody
Of course.
would like his carriers, please.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Ah, crap.
Of course.
I forgot.
Armed and ready.
Starship construction commencing.
Let's see.
But
Yeah.
Starfleet Command, the computer game, introduced these. The Akula
The-
class.
Yep. They're like the Saladin from the original series era, but they have the extra nacelle on the top.
I even described them as refits of the Saladin in my, well, contribution to this.
Alert the crew.
But the Connie's day has to come to an end. At least in frontline service.
Yep.
Which brings us to the great experiment.
The Excelsior. Originally meant to test out Transport Drive.
And my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wagon.
Yep. And of course...
Yeah, Scotty did not like this thing, and I don't blame him. It had more issues than the Connie refit.
Yep.
In fact, I'm pretty sure the Constellation and the Excelsior were designed as competitors to try and, well, replace the Connie in frontline duty.
Yep. And another
It's
Scotty.
failed.
Yep. Another Scotty quote. The more complicated they make the plumbing, the easier it is to jam up the pipes.
No. The more complicated they make the plumbing, the easier it is to clog up the drain.
Yeah.
Transwarp Drive just did not work.
Yeah.
All sections report.
And then we have the Enterprise B, or as some call it, the Excelsior refit.
Which it certainly is. Fun fact. The Enterprise B was originally the Excelsior model.
But then when they went to
Make generations, they had to tack things on. They discovered they couldn't remove the damn things without destroying the model.
Yeah.
Which is why the Lakota appears as, well, an Enterprise B refit. Now you might be wondering in the background, why the hell are there two ambassadors?
We'll get to those.
Yes, we will. And
Local star charts.
here's Jorn's favorite part, fighters.
Yes.
Of
What the heck
course-
is that ship?
This is a Wraith class. It comes from Star Trek Starfleet Command 2 as a standard Federation fighter. In fact, it's the only Federation fighter from that game.
Acknowledge, Starfleet.
There are two other fighters for Starfleet, but they come from the Mirror Universe and are only seen in one game, but they really fit.
Yeah.
Such as the Spectre, seen here, armed with heavy phasers, and the ultimate variant,
Battle stations.
the Phantom. God's own anti-son-of-a-bitch machine when it comes to strike craft. That said,
Yeah.
they just don't work in Trek. Trek is not wars. Fighters only work in wars.
Alert the crew.
Yeah.
Fighters can work everywhere with the right amount of technology. Star Trek is just being very non-innovative when it comes to starfighters.
On the subject of starships, this thing's taking a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Midway class carrier.
Yes.
Also a Star Trek Starfleet Command vessel.
We await your command.
But I suppose we may as well talk about the elephant in the room.
Centaur.
Fun fact, this is not the actual canonical version of the ship. Stress just used the example seen in the DS9 technical manual instead of, well, looking at the studio model, and I think we're about to have some,
Vessels are under attack.
Yeah, we're having some company.
lovely.
Alert the crew.
Moving
What
on.
took them so long?
Well, I did have the AI set to normal.
Standing by.
Begin a sensor scan.
Come on, fire those phasers. I want to hear it.
Local star chart.
God, I love that sound. Teeny dana dana dana, teeny dana 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 dana. But hey, somebody had to feature them, and I'm just glad they did. STO's version of the pulse phasers is not very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may as well talk about the elephant.
Yeah. The first proper Lost Era starship. The Ambassador class.
Yeah, this is a post-Kittimer vessel. It was decided that if the Excelsior was going to replace the Connie as the bread and butter of the fleet, which it really did, then they'd need a battleship-class vessel to, well, complement it.
And that was this thing.
Which also turned out to be the vessel that would, well, be the Enterprise C.
Yep.
We all know the amount of trouble that thing brought.
We are sustaining
Well,
heavy damage from the nebula.
All hands to
Alright, Enterprise, take out that thing. Well, Furious Enterprise. What? Ah!
Sensor scan.
The Midway.
We are sustaining heavy damage from the nebula.
Now, it's not a very good carrier.
But it's an intriguing design.
They tried marrying the concepts of a carrier with those of a Connie.
Alter course.
We are sustaining heavy damage
Did not
from the
succeed,
nebula.
but it serves perfectly well as a battleship-class vessel.
Starship construction commencing.
Yep.
prepare the docking bays.
Starship complete.
Ooh, that guy's in for a bad day. That guy's in for a very bad day.
Starship complete.
Be ready for anything.
Yeah.
All sections report.
But yeah, since this showcase is over, I think it's time we swap to the next,
We are sustaining heavy damage from
well,
the nebula.
the next box.
Just tell me where to go.
Oh, not the next era. We're moving on to STO.
Alright.
Jump cut in
Jump
3.
cut.
Okay, it says the stream has ended.
Oops. Yes. Stupid things. Yeah.
Welcome to Star Trek Online, everybody.
Still annoyed that I don't have this. This isn't the STD boat.
It looks like it.
No.
That is the Bozeman. That is basically a 25th century Soyuz. Made by Cryptic.
Which fits. Here's the original.
It reminds me of the Gagarin, or whatever it's called, paint job.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later, but for right now, Constitution, there it is. This is a ship that really fits in.
Oh yeah, the Columbia. They took the concepts of the NX refit.
And married them to both the Oberth, in the case of the nacelles, and I suppose the engineering section, and the Excelsior. And it really fits.
Yeah.
This is how you do a design language.
Yeah. This is nice.
Hold on a moment. Legendary. No. Not talking about those today.
Here we go.
we'll discuss that thing later.
Yeah.
And here's the elephant in the room. Now, I'm gonna fully admit it. None of us are fans of the Walker. I mean,
Yeah.
it's unique. I can see it getting TMP, getting TOS'd up. It just needs needs a lot of work. However, there is a subtype that is less egregious.
Not that one. That one. The Georgou.
Now, I have problems with the Georgou class, but at least it fits the design language. I'd prefer that saucer to be rounded off and the deflector dish in a Excelsior-style gondola.
But as it is, it works.
At least it fits in a lot better than every other STD design.
Yeah, true enough.
Which brings us to talking about the Lost Era, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, according to Thomas Morone, who did an excellent script, this thing was designed as a competitor for the Excelsior. Because of, the idiot war.
Yeah.
I think it's a general guideline nowadays that STD is just the guideline. The war happened, the discovery existed, it just didn't happen as seen on screen, because the writers have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
If the writers are smart, if the new writers come in and they're smart, what they should do is they make it so STD was a
bad dream.
They do. No, not a bad dream. But what they do is that they do what the STD what the BattleTech guys did to the BattleTech animated series. Basically, they made it. BattleTech they made this animated series that was so bad they decided to rather than just omit the entire thing, they turned it into an in-universe cartoon that people would watch in universe. Basically, so what they could do is make so STD was an in-universe TV series that people of the Federation would watch,
or even make it a mockery. Say it's produced by the Romulans.
Produced by exactly.
That could certainly work.
But yeah,
Anyway,
here's the Excelsior model for
Star Trek Online.
Now there is an NX version. You'll see that when I shift over to the Fleet variant. And here's the Enterprise B. God damn. I really wish that ship got more screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the STD version. I'm not a fan of it, but it does make a little bit of sense. That's what Cryptic does.
Yeah,
they take the crap and they make it make sense.
Yep.
And now for the Lost Era, starting with the Ambassador. We all know this thing. Now, originally, Andrew Probert was going to make it more streamlined, very much like the Galaxy. Production issues. They had to have it in a week. So, they had to simplify it. No one was happy with it.
But, in the grand scheme of things, it works.
And it's beloved by the fans.
It's a nice middleman between the Excelsior and the Galaxy.
Exactly. That was what their thinking was. They went, okay, Excelsior, Galaxy. What's in between?
Oh. Well, you see, when a mommy loves Excelsior and a dad Excelsior, they love each other very much.
Yes. Anyway.
There was a subtype seen in Best of Both in Emissary, the USS Yamaguchi, which took the extreme a little closer. I like to think of this as a Excelsior frame being generally modified to work like a Galaxy, to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's done in real life. You make scale models. You make something that exists. In fact, fun fact, a B-47 was used to test the Oranda Uruguay engine that was going to be used in the Avro Arrow. It was attached right to the end of that B-47.
Huh.
They did it for testing. It worked. And of course we've seen other variants.
Right.
But I suppose we also have to talk about the Centaur. This is what the
Yes.
Centaur actually looks like. There's no bronze things on top. The fins are a little less aggressive. It just looks like a, well...
It looks like someone took the Miranda concepts and applied them to Excelsior parts.
Yeah, this was a case of kit bashing, but it's a case of kit bashing that makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
And here's the Soyuz.
Yep.
Looks a lot more elegant.
Yep.
And in case you're wondering, Jorn, this is the Miranda. This is the
25th century Miranda, the Reliant.
which actually appeared in Picard. Because they were desperate. Hey, take the good with the bad. This is actually a pretty good design.
Yeah, and it was made in STO before it appeared in Picard. So, actually a good thing. STO design, canonized.
Whoops. This also counts as a Lost Era design, mostly because, well, Galaxy.
Yeah, this is the car.
And
Originally...
if I could flip this thing over, it would look a lot like the Springfield. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, this is the Springfield. We have another 3.5. We have another 359er in the game.
Yep.
But yeah. You know, we are running out of TMP ships to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I suppose that means we can move on to the next era.
Yep. Do we do that as a separate video or keep going on this one?
Separate. It'll take me a little bit to get set up on...
Star Trek and... Oh, we still have one last bit to do on this vid.
Oh?
Yes. I remember that vid I did link you?
Oh, right! The
I did
Sydney! I
Yes.
forgot to talk about the Sydney because it doesn't appear in any mods. Or any games. See, the Sydney was a modification of the SD-103 model seen throughout the TMP era. But, well, it finally got modified after Movie 6 into the Sydney-class transport. Most famously seen as the USS Jenolan, and then a ship from Trials and Tribulations as a civilian transport.
Yes.
Because that's kind of the thing. When Starfleet designs finally get too old for service, you just push them onto civilians. It's a proven design. It works.
Yep.
It's done in real life all the bloody time.
Yeah. I mainly first mentioned it, using it when we were planning this video,
But
because I have the Star Trek Adventures tabletop roleplay books, and the Sydney class is mentioned. It has a stat block. You can make a player ship as a Sydney class.
which is kind of disappointing. I'd like to see the Sydney in STO as, I don't know, a civilian use ship. Maybe turn it into a light escort.
Or maybe give it the Tuffley treatment. Make it a freighter.
Like I said, civilian ship.
Yeah.
It's a little bit disappointing, but what can you do?
Yeah. I have provided Ron a picture of the Sydney, which hopefully we will be able to show you.
That's not gonna happen. This is game capture, not screen capture.
Alright, fair enough.
But yeah, sorry. I really wish we could show it.
Yeah, I wish we could show it too, but oh well.
See you next time, everybody.
Yeah, see you for the next generation DS9 Voyager era.